Hi there, my name is Dari and I'm here to pitch to you my integrated marketing communications plan as part of my marketing communications assignment. So the case study that I chose to work on was Oz Comic Con and its intended expansion into Newcastle and just some market research on what it took. So, but before we move on, I just wanted to say that I'm working under the assumption that this marketing plan, the 7-month marketing plan, is leading up to the main event. So, like that after 7 months, that there will be Oz Comic Con Newcastle. So that's what I'm working with. It's to build, and its purpose is to build it up and garner interest. I also wanted to mention that you'll see my report, and not everything is included from that report in this presentation as well, but all the relevant things are. And yeah, let's get started. So before we move on, also let's talk about what integrated marketing communications is. So we all know that there's a lot of ways to market products and services, and it's something that evolves with our society as we move on to a more technological advanced world. And yeah, marketers need to find more creative ways to advertise their product. So IMC is a practice that allows organizations to utilize a variety of promotional tools to communicate their visions with consumers instead of using one-off individual tools. So by connecting and using multiple advertising avenues such as sales promotion, public relations, and direct marketing techniques, IMC creates this sort of synergy through the advertising, and it takes consumers on an experience and just it links everything up nicely, and it's nicely planned. And on top of that, it also saves companies time and money rather than going to multiple third-party companies for different, advertising material. They just go to the one and there's a plan and they're all set. Yeah, so that's what IMC is. Now, what we'll be talking about is we'll be going through some background information, of course, that's important, including the past marketing campaign that was used for Oz Comic Con. We'll go through the IMC campaign brief, talk about competitors, the current marketing mix, who the target audiences, and then we'll move on to the integrated marketing communications plan, just as quickly as we can. We'll look at draft marketing materials, the media schedule and coverage, the budget, and then we'll end it there. But firstly, some background information. So, I chose Oz Comic Con because I'm actually a big fan of it myself. I've been to a few events and I've even dressed up. So it's Australia's premier pop culture and Comic Con event. It started in 2012 from its organizers, Reed Pop, and they're actually quite experienced in organizing events like this. They do it all over the world, and they brought it to Australia, which is great. It's a convention dedicated to comic books, video games across all gaming platforms, movies, TV shows, cosplay, board games, anime, and all things pop culture. These events are held over the weekend in multiple locations across Australia. At this stage, Oz Comic Con holds 3 events along the East Coast, so the major cities, Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne, where hundreds of thousands of fans attend in order to see their favourite movie star, an author or artist participate or spectate in cosplay, panel discussions, esports events, that's a thing, see exclusive releases, as well as purchasing merchandise from store holders that are actually hard to find, and be involved in workshops as well. So yeah, Repop's are also a company that's dedicated to supporting local Australian talent, creators and businesses by finding fans, connecting them and bringing them together for like one epic weekend experience of pop culture. And this report will evaluate Oz Comic Con's current and past campaigns. The report will. I'll talk about it a little bit in this presentation. We'll be going through, like I said, the marketing mix and the plan and how they can move forward and break into the Newcastle market. Sorry, my throat's really dry. So, Rocket Comms, an experienced 9-agency team of creatives and writers, have worked closely with Oz Comic Con in creating, initiating and launching marketing services to Australia worldwide and to the Australian population in preparation to the events. They had clear objectives. This included enacting full-service PR activities for each key ticketing launch date, increasing influencer engagement, securing placements and visibility in mainstream media, engage more varied audiences with a focus on parents and families, focus on event content pillars, so not just film and TV guests, but like the community surrounding it and anime, comics and gaming. They actually achieved a lot with these objectives in consideration. The results were pretty good. We'll move on to the next slide. So as you can see here, they garnered like 1,000 dedicated coverage pieces. And these appeared in prints, like Australian prints, such as Spectrum and Magazine and the Courier Mail. This generated like national reach and total market saturation across all platforms. And you can see the figure here, that's 300, that's like 100,000. That's a lot. The advertising value equivalency was 7.6 million. I'm just going to say that. And they had a 273-to-1 ratio when it came to their return on investment. So that's amazing. Like, I don't know how I can compete with that. But we're just focusing on Little Newcastle, so yeah. And you can see a detailed analysis of their strategies also in my report, but I won't be talking about that now. So now let's move on to the campaign brief for Oz Comic Con. So this is a market test for Newcastle. It's a very broad objective to test the Newcastle market for readiness to expand the Oz Comic Con circuit for 2020 by holding pop-up events. There will be 3, and we'll be talking about that later. Desired response: increased awareness of Oz Comic Con in Newcastle and surrounding areas, and high levels of engagement in communication and promotional testing activities leading up to the expansion of Newcastle as the newest addition to Oz Comic Con. Its target audience is quite wide, so 16 to 40-year-olds, all genders living in within a 100-kilometre radius. And their interests would be, like I mentioned, movie, gaming, anime, pop culture, etc. And they have to be passionate about, those kind of subjects, the experience and community. The message theme is bringing the ultimate pop culture experience to you. And timeline is 7 months and budget of 190,000. So that's what I was working with. And you'll see that in my plan. But first, now let's move to the next one. So that is competitor analysis. Great. So you can see that I've analyzed 3 Oz Comic Con, Supernova, and PAX. So that's Penny Arcade Expo. So they're all kind of similar in price, as you can see. These numbers look really big, but those are for like super fans that want to stay there for the whole weekend and get an exclusive VIP pass. But yeah, typically general admission is about $40, plus any additional costs, $65 for packs. These additional costs could be like meet and greeting your celebrity friend, taking a photo with them, getting an autograph. So these are not included in the general admission costs. So yeah, product and features, these are all very similar things. These two, Oz Comic Con and PAX, differ slightly. They're actually run by the same organizers. ReedPop, PAX is more into games and tabletop and independent, arcade kind of games like that. That's all similar. Location, PAX is exclusively Melbourne. Supernova has offers its event in quite a number of locations, compared to Oz Comic Con only being Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney. Lots of attendance, huge for Supernova as well. You can see their social media following. Supernova would have like the biggest group as well. They're all very similar. Awareness and engagement, it was hard to find something for Supernova, but that's a lot of media impressions on both, especially Oz Comic Con. And they all use similar marketing strategies as well. So I picked these three because they're similar, like I said. But I'd also like to mention that there's no other event like that in Newcastle at all. Yeah, so now let's move to the current marketing mix. So the 7 P's. So let's start off with product. As you know, a considerable amount of work and planning is required to carry out these events. So yeah. Products on offer: pop culture experience, artist alley, comics, cosplay, competitions, gaming, esports, anime, manga, celebrity guests, merchandise stores, and filming activities. Also workshops, I should mention, and there's competitions in most of these areas. Promotion, we'll be using a lot of just direct marketing, general advertising, heavily focusing on digital internet marketing, social media communities, word of mouth. There's a lot of people that are connected and watch Twitch streamers, Discord communities where people play games, Facebook groups, and Instagram as well. I know a few social media influencers who are cosplayers, and they have quite a following, and they always attend the events, and their fans like to see them at these events too. We've spoken about price already, so generally $48 for a day pass. Place: Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney currently. And typically these are in major city areas located at big convention centres with plenty of car parks, especially the Brisbane one. It's quite good, and access to public transport. The people are the ones who make such a great event. The organisers, lots of volunteers actually come along to volunteer. They get like a free pass and they help out, and it looks like lots of fun. Store holders, celebrity guests, and of course consumers. Attendees. The process is a lot of research and development is required to know which guests to bring, what's on trend. They have a large loyal fan base, so typically people keep coming each year with their friends, and events like these typically also grow each year too. Ticket sales, freebies and giveaway. Physical evidence. I'll probably talk a lot about experiential marketing. online communities and convention experience. So yeah, now let's move on to target audience. So we mentioned the age, geographical location, Newcastle, Central Coast and surrounding areas, median income and education level, both genders, doesn't really matter because it is a broad topic. And it's not like no one has heard of Oz Comic Con also. People who have an interest in or hobby in gaming, film, TV, etc. Lifestyle, typically technology driven. I'm not gonna lie, that's the truth. Now let's move on to creative strategy. So this is the start of the integrated marketing communications plan bit, so this will be a little bit big. Oz Comic Con has 7 months to create a brand image in the Newcastle area. I feel like they have a unique selling proposition by inviting customers to enjoy and experience and participate in, esport and cosplaying opportunities, either as a contender or audience. Like I mentioned, experiential marketing is the creative appeal and the way to go. Campaign theme. Oz Comic Con's logo is largely white and green with an emphasis on showcasing all things pop culture. Elements such as cosplaying, celebrity guests, superheroes, and anime across all their advertising materials. They're in your face and colourful. Popular culture attracts communities who have an interest and hobbies on relevant topics that OzCon offers. So there is potential for consumers to attend the event in a group and invite friends with similar interests along to share in the experience, because it's something they want to do, something fun. And the slogan, bringing the ultimate pop culture experience to you. So the creative executive approach will largely be a combination of straight selling and factual message, including what the event offers and what attendees can expect to experience, and testimonials. Experiential marketing, I've already mentioned that. But that's, I can't stress that enough. That's because experience is an integral part of the Oz Comic Con culture. As more and more customers are after a unique selling and personalized experience that create lasting memories amongst their friends and families, and this also leads to your emotional appeals that can take place indirectly as a result, because things like this creates feelings of nostalgia, and then it will influence the overall purchasing experience. They'll have it'll promote a loyal fan base, and consumers who interact with it will have a fun relationship and will associate positive feelings with the brand, which is great. Media mix. So promotional tools will be relying heavily on internet and digital marketing through the website and advertising, and reaching out to social media communities and influencers. You'll see more of this when it comes to the breakdown of the scheduling as well. We've spoken about target market coverage, and timing is important in order to garner the highest potential buyers of Oz Comic Con. We'll be using the flighting method, so scheduling in intermittent periods, so there'll be advertising and there won't be advertising, and this is to generate interest for the event through the market research, and not overexpose. So reach and frequency. The objective in the 7-month period includes getting 40% awareness, which will be hard to measure as well, but we'll see how we go. Recency planning. Oz Comic Con Newcastle will focus on generating as much exposure as possible through scheduling of advertisements and reach frequency to attract community to these pop-up events. Creative aspects and mood. Marketing factors in this area are relatively new, as Newcastle has a different lifestyle demographic than major cities. So the population of Newcastle isn't as dense. People are more laid back and chill, and probably a bit more active as well. The messages conveyed will be simple, frequent but fighting. Cinema advertisement will, in movies that will relate to pop culture or the same genre, will be used in the cinema, and this will further enhance the message and create a mood for consumers to generate interest. Because generally, people who are at the cinema and they see advertisements in the cinema, they associate positive feelings, like it's not intrusive because it's a thing that they expect to happen as well, so it's not always in your face. Flexibility. It's important to be flexible when it comes to media strategies to combat any noise and threat, as well as taking advantage of any opportunities as well. And you don't want to advertise at the same time as another event because it could drown out your event as well. So there's all these things to consider. Budget considerations. In order to lower costs and increase reach without wastage or overexposure, this marketing plan will rely heavily on internet and digital media marketing. So this is to keep costs low. Radio and bus posters in highly populated areas and during peak time. The budget, like I said, is $190,000, and you'll see a breakdown of how we go about spending it as well. Let's go to the next slide. I'll take care of myself. So, draft communication materials. You see a storyboard right here. So this is just like an example of a 30-second ad for Oz Comic Con that you'll see in the cinema. It'll flick through pictures and videos, and it'll look great, and it'll just kind of describe what's on offer, and look at this picture of all these people here. And it's like something to come in 2020. This is an example of a print ad. It can be in a magazine, but I was thinking it would be on the bus stops. This is a web page layout for the website for Oz Comic Con Newcastle. I didn't realize how bad the screen is. I apologize. I'm only looking at it now. Example social media posts. So win 2 weekend passes, like this post and tag 2 friends to go into the draw. So it's important to keep social media active and getting people to interact and share, and that's one way to do it. Now let's move on to the media schedule coverage. So you can see that there's kind of a lot going on, and we'll just take it slow. I also mentioned that there's also extra stuff in my report. I didn't show the media release, but you can see that in my report when it comes to draft communication materials. So let's start off with the first one, bus stop posters. So flighting method, you can see that there. On and off advertising to increase awareness, but not overexposed. So this is in January, March, May, and July. These are obviously 4-week increment in a month. Generally some radio advertising. Flight method as well, quick 15-second radio advert, 4 ads per weekday, like in peak hours for 3 months, so that's 240 ads, and you can see that there. Flighting method as well, so when there's no ad about this, you'll hear an ad about this. Cinema advertising, so Oz Comic Con, just like the storyboard that you saw earlier, we'll be using follow film marketing. So this means we're attaching the Oz Comic Con advertisement to a specific film of a similar genre. So it looks a bit random the way I got it here, but I've chosen February, March, and April for particular reasons actually. So Birds of Prey is like a Harley Quinn kind of movie, and that comes out in February. Black Widow in March, and Wonder Woman 1984 in June. So that's what I have going there. Also, email newsletters. Just the start of every month. People who have signed up, even past Sydney attenders will get this email, because chances are people did travel to Sydney, and not everyone who lived in Sydney. The pop-up event you can see here. I've chosen Charlestown and Kotara as the main ones, and there's 3. And I've actually put them in school holiday dates, so they're a week long, and it's for passerbys and families and consumers to interact with them. It'll be like a mini scale Comic-Con, staffed by like 3 people. It'll include giveaways. There'll be a cosplay prop photo booth as well as like a console station set up for kids to play with, or adults as well. You'll see here that I have chosen continuity when it comes to like online advertisements and marketing, especially websites, and keeping social media content active, with little breaks in between as well as railway billboards at Newcastle train station, and similar nearby ones along the Central Coast. So just little increments of 1 month at a time, leading up to the major event. Anything I miss, I'll get back to. So this is the budget allocation. So we have, like I said, $190,000. And this is how much it will cost for the bus stop, radio, cinema advertising. A large chunk of it is for the pop-up event and cinema advertising. And that it is actually really cost effective for social media and internet marketing. This was just the leftover price of what's left. So this will include paying influencers and streamers, those extra freebies and ticket giveaways. And you'll find that it's actually really cheap and has potential to get a lot of reach. And I just wanted to touch on pop-up events. So there's 3, as you saw in my schedule. So that's $25,000 each. And they're a week long. This includes paying staff wages. So I estimated that at that, minimum wage is around $22. Times 7 days, 8-hour days, 7 days a week for 1 week. That's about nearly $4,000. And then there'll be like $20,000 left over for all the other stuff, which I think is a lot, when it comes to a trade show. Just hiring that space in the store as well. So that's me using 100% of the budget, and you can see the pie graph here on how much is allocated on what. And let's move on to the conclusion. So integrated marketing. I'll put myself in the corner. Integrated marketing communication plans can be very effective when well researched, developed, and implemented correctly. As with marketing in general, clear goals and objectives need to be identified. Otherwise, devising up a marketing plan is no easy task. Like if you don't have specific goals, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, then it's I found this plan to be very comprehensive and hard to. I feel that this plan has integrated a variety of media strategies in order to gain best reach in a place like Newcastle and optimize awareness for Oz Comic Con's future endeavors in hosting a large-scale event at like a smaller city. It may be hard to measure interaction, so it's easy to do it when you're using internet and digital marketing, but when it comes to pop-up stores and interactions, that's something that need to be monitored. But yeah, I feel like these media tactics that are designed to accomplish Oz Comic Con's objectives by hosting 3 pop-up stores and gaining awareness and a fan base in Newcastle and the surrounding areas, while at the same time being, cost effective. So that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation and bearing with me. And yeah, I feel like if you have any questions, you can email me, and yeah, have fun browsing through my report. And yeah, thank you for listening. See ya.